Iron Mike, what's going on, brother?
What's up, DC? Living the dream, man.
Hey,
Good to see your
I got.
face on my phone.
Hey, that's a beautiful living room. Wow. I mean, all this money, right? Look at that living room, Chandler. Did you
Get
design
out
this,
of
or
here.
this was it the great
No,
Bree Chandler that got
It
this
was
done?
the great Bree Chandler. Let's be honest. She does all the designing in the family. We got some art being hung this week, so we're excited about it.
Look at look at this guy living the American dream. So Chandler, listen, man. The other day, we're in Madison Square. Everything seems normal. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, normal fight week. Saturday, an explosion between you and Justin Gaethje. Third round, you're fighting a great round, and then you decide to drop your hands and just say, "Let's go." I mean, what was that moment like for you, Mike? I know it's a few weeks ago, but what was that moment like for you? And what does it feel like to, even in a defeat, your stock seemed to have risen after this Justin Gaethje fight?
Man, yeah, it probably wasn't the smartest of ideas, especially against
Why'd
a
you
guy
do
like
that?
Justin Gaethje. I think it was just I think I was caught up in the moment. It's definitely the first time in my career that I didn't care whether I won or lost for some reason. I also didn't hear my coaches for the entire 15 minutes. Madison Square Garden
Really?
was so loud. It was absolutely bananas inside there. You were in there. But it was just I usually as wrestlers we've been trained, and then now fighters we've been trained. We can hear our coaches. Could not hear a thing, so I was out there by myself, unfortunately. And when I'm left to my own devices, it's a lot of ill-advised things happen. But they were entertaining, so the fans won that fight.
They did. And Mike, I mean, the picture of you with the apple slices and the face mask on afterwards, like, did you, in those moments where you're like, okay, man, I maybe should not have done that? Like, how much pain were you in after that? Because I know that
Man,
Sunday is bad, but by Wednesday, it's ridiculous.
yeah, man, because as soon as and then in flying, of course, and then you got distracting injuries. My both my leg and my right foot hurt from both checking leg kicks or eating leg kicks and throwing leg kicks. And then the face, the face looks the worst, but the face is the best part about it. I can deal with a couple black eyes and a couple sets of stitches, but it was more the body pain that I was in for like about the first 2 weeks. But I've been doing a lot of recovery stuff, a lot of hyperbaric chamber, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
manual body work, and body feels great now. So I'm about to get back to training.
The hyperbaric chamber is literally the greatest invention ever known to man for injuries. Like, you just recover
Yeah.
like this. It's insane how good it works. So, Mike, you fought Dan Hooker on the pay-per-view. Now, granted, you had a great resume coming into the UFC. You know, the wars in Bellator with Eddie Alvarez and all the championships, all that. Obviously, granted you some opportunities. But you fought Dan Hooker on a pay-per-view to get here, knockout. Next fight's for a title. Then you fight on the massive fight in Madison Square Garden. And now all of a sudden you're on the internet arguing with Conor McGregor. Even if you can pull this off, if the McGregor fight happens, will you have had the greatest four-fight run to start a UFC career in history?
Man, I haven't really thought about it like that because I've just been so focused on each of the
Dude,
fights. Obviously, my goal was to get into the UFC. Once I knew I was testing for agency, I knew I wanted to go to the UFC. That was the first goal. Then I wanted to come in and make a statement, make myself be known right away. But yeah, I mean, if this first 14, 16, 18 months of me fighting in the UFC culminates with me fighting Conor McGregor, I think it's probably the best path anyone could have ever asked for. So we're going to go from there. We're going to see what's happening. He's healing up. I'm healing up. I think the timeline works out really well.
well, then you got to take some time after that. So McGregor's got some time after the broken leg, but after the fights that you've had, as you said, it hasn't been a long. You said it. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And obviously, you have been having a good time in the UFC. After such an impressive fight with Justin Gaethje, you start to really see people's eyebrows raised. And obviously, the money fight at 155 is Conor McGregor. Conor gave you guys props on the night, but then he did an Ask Notorious segment on Sunday, and someone said, Conor, what do you genuinely think of Michael Chandler? Conor then replies, it's hard not to be impressed. In a game of inches, he has been incredibly close each time. He could well be today's champion. And then you wrote earlier in response to Conor McGregor, 2022, with a stare down between you two. When you think of the fight with Conor McGregor, First off, were you surprised by his reaction to what they said? Because anyone in the know understands, Mike, you were 30 seconds from beating Charles Oliveira and getting the finish. You could be the champ, but now you find yourself in this position after the Gaethje fight. But if you get a McGregor fight, how much has Michael Chandler really lost in this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, as an athlete, the number one goal, I want to be the UFC champion. I want to be the number one guy in the world. But as fighters, we get into the sport because we want big stages, big opportunities against big opponents in big arenas. And it doesn't get any bigger than Conor McGregor. So I think what you're seeing there is, I think, mutual respect for him to say that he was impressed by my performances, for him to say that I could very well be the champion, and still saying that this is a game of inches and we can all get caught. He's been caught. I've been caught. You've been caught. You fight long enough and you fight the toughest guys long enough, you're going to get caught. So I think there's a mutual respect there. To me, that's genuine. That's how I like to do things. I'm not a big trash talk guy. I'm not a big attacker guy on social media.
But Mike, you understand that if the fight gets signed, it's gonna turn a bit ugly because it always does with McGregor. Like, how are you gonna handle that though? Because you're right. I've known you since you wrestled in college at Missouri. You're a nice guy. You're a well-rounded guy, and you aren't a big trash talker. You're kind of a meat and potatoes type of guy. How do you handle when it does turn left against Conor McGregor? It's all fun and games right now. We're respectful. But what do you do when it does turn that way?
Well, I guess if the fight happens, I guess we'll see. You might see a different side of me, but chances are, I mean, I think I'm pretty good at using my vocabulary and my linguistic jiu-jitsu to wrap guys up in some words that they may not understand, without having to really take to base level assaults or talking about different things that are going to be damaging to a guy's reputation, if you will. So we'll see, man. I respect Conor for what he's done. I respect Conor as a fighter, and I even respect his trash talk game. So that's definitely something I'm not necessarily. I think it is something that I'm looking forward to. It's something that, as we said, big fights, big opponents, and big stages, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger with every single conversation that gets had, every single social media post, and every single moment that he and I would be on the microphone. So as we said, he needs to heal up. I need to heal up. We'll see if that fight happens. If it does, it's definitely going to be fireworks inside the octagon, and I guarantee I can carry my weight outside the octagon on the microphone.
Mike, you said ultimately you want to be the champion, though. If it's not McGregor, then who do we see Michael Chandler fight next, and when would Michael Chandler like to be back in the octagon?
I definitely want to look after my health first and foremost. Obviously, you saw the war I was just in, giving myself through the holidays and the first couple months of the year to really take care of my body, get back into shape, and get back into camp. But probably middle of next year, May, June, July of next year, I think would be a great timeline for me after this fight that I was just in. And then as far as who, I don't really know. As we said, I want big fights, big names, big opportunities. But I also want that gold. So I'm kind of stuck between a conundrum between both different routes. But these things usually work themselves out. I got phenomenal management and a phenomenal relationship with the UFC, and they are the best at putting on fights and fights that fans are interested in. And I'm going to be in a nice big one in the middle of 2022.
Mike, obviously you have had a lot of success in your career. You're winning. If you look at that living room, you understand that Michael Chandler is winning. But Michael Chandler, it's my show, and you came on my show to take an absolute L because Ryan Clark's not here. So we do lists every week, and Ryan Clark's not here to do a list. So I asked Michael Chandler, would you mind partaking in a list with me, Mike, as you visit the show? So, guys, today the list is top fighters under 25 years old. It's going to be the top 5, Chandler. It's going to be the top 5, right, Mike? Top 5 fighters
no.
under 25.
First of all, you sprung this on me this morning. Clark must have got food poisoning at the last minute or something. And then all of a sudden, you said 3 fighters under 25. And then we get on here, and we're doing sound checks, and you're trying to throw 5 at me. You're nuts. I can't believe it.
I make the rules. Mike, I make the rules. All right.
Okay, I'm going.
All right. Stop. I'll let you do 3. Let's do 3, Chandler.
Okay.
I'll be fair.
Thank God.
You agreed to come. You blessed me with your presence. Michael Chandler, let's do 3. It's not going to be a draft today. Let's do 3 fighters under 25 that if you had to build a promotion, these are the fighters that you're putting at the forefront to try to draw eyes. So, Michael Chandler, the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, so you want me to name all 3 right now?
No. So what you do is you list them, give me a
One
little
and
bit
one.
about each fighter. Yep, you give me
Yeah.
a little bit about each fighter, and then you go to your next person. So you go
Okay,
3,
I got
2,
all
1. 3.
Okay.
Yep, 3, but starting at the one that would be your last of the 3. So you're going to make somebody mad.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Of the 3, of my top 3 fighters under 25, at number 3 comes Miranda Maverick, not just because she's one of my hometown Missouri girls, but every time you watch her fight, when you used to watch her fight in Invicta, when you seen her transition into UFC, I think she won her last fight against Macy Barber, but she's just so poised, so calm and collected the entire fight. She's extremely well-rounded, and I think she's going to be a champion in the women's division in the future.
People can't help themselves. Hey, people can't help themselves. People can't help themselves. You're a homer. You're a homer.
I am a
because
homer.
She's from Missouri. You try to just drop it in there and move on.
I got another homer for you later in my list. So just buckle up. Everybody's gonna be mad at me. First of all, coming in at number 2 is Jeff El Jefe Molina, Dana White Contender Series graduate. Okay, and we'll unpack his style. He's tenacious. He is extremely well-rounded. As we're saying, everybody keep in mind this is all fighters under 25 years old. These guys barely have hair under their armpits, and they're fighting in the UFC. Extremely well-rounded. A lot of finishes. 8 of his 10 wins by finish. And one thing that stuck out to me, DC, that a lot of people will overlook, and you will appreciate this as a wrestler, you learn how to lose as a wrestler. And how Jeff Molina started his career, he started 1-2 in his career. Now, you tell me right now, if you and I both started mixed martial arts, we went 1-2 in our first 3 fights, we might think about hanging it up. But not Jeff Molina. So I think he's got a very bright future. Definitely number 2 on my list of top fighters under 25.
Top 3 because you won't do 5. It's top 3
you're right.
because you won't do 5. So give me your number 1, Michael Chandler.
Number 1, I'm going Homer again, of course. I shared the card with him on my last fight. Ian Gary, the future. Let me talk about the man's physical attributes, because the only thing as impressive or more impressive than the man's physical attributes is his confidence in himself. He's extremely long and tall and powerful for the division. As we said, he's still just a baby. He's under 25 years old. He won't even become a full man until he's 30. But his striking, his ability to negotiate distance between himself and his opponent, the way that he slid outside of that right hand in his last fight and knocked that dude out, Williams out in the last 5 seconds of that round, was nothing short of amazing. But as I said, and as a lot of people said about Conor McGregor, when he first came in, you see shades of Conor McGregor in Ian Gary, that Conor wasn't as good as he thought he was, but he was better than we all thought he was. And I think that's how Ian Gary is going to be. I think we have a future champion on our hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and say that's like, Chandler. That's kind of like your golf game, you know. It's not good. It's not bad.
Hey, we still got to get back out there. I'm getting better. All right, I'm getting better.
It's not bad. It's just okay. Okay, all right. For me, guys, get ready for the champions list because here I come. At number 3, I have got a 3-way tie going down to 6, right? So at number 3, I've got a 3-way tie. At number 3, I got Macy Barber because, hey, maybe Macy's going to fall short of becoming the youngest champion of all time, but she is phenomenal. And she beat Miranda Maverick, Michael Chandler's number 3. Tied for number 3, I got Ignacio Bahamondes. Do you see? Remember when he fought Roosevelt Roberts? That spinning wheel kick knockout? It was truly something to behold. Tall, long guy, different place. He's from a place that we don't expect many fighters to come from. So he brings his own people with him. And tied at number 3, I have Usman Nurmagomedov. He fights in Bellator, your old stomping grounds. Got a rear naked choke last time. He's undefeated. He's 14-0. He has all the skills to become the man. So that'll be my tie. For number 4. That's my tie. So at 4, 5, and 6, those are the guys that I am listing. Now, at number 3, I'm going to agree with you, my friend Michael Chandler. I will give it to Ian Gary. I told the kid in the fighter meetings, if you can fight like you can talk, okay, I'm going to really be in for a treat because I hadn't watched his fight yet as of fighter meetings. And you know what? He was very impressive. He did a good job taking advantage of the moment, but also the moment after on the microphone. At number 2, how about Casey O'Neill? Casey O'Neill, the young lady from Las Vegas, the Australian, she goes out there and she's just overwhelming people. Chandler, we didn't expect anything from Casey O'Neill when she made her debut. She fought.
Nope.
She went out there, dominated. She's been dominant the whole time. And then the fight she beat Antonia Shevchenko in her last fight. So immediately she's in the rankings, and she is still only 24 years old. Casey O'Neill is number 2 for me. And at number 1, if I have got to build a promotion, Chandler, Song Yadong is still only 23 years old. He's still only 23 years old.
I almost went with Song Yadong. But
you should have went with Song Yadong.
The homer in me wouldn't let me. I didn't have enough room on my list. And obviously, you're trying to beat me right now just by adding as many names as you possibly can.
What you mean?
A list of 30 has got 17 names on it.
Chandler, listen. Chandler, I make the rules. It's my show. I make the rules, and I couldn't choose a number 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So whatever. But Song Yadong has been in some tremendous fights. He's had some tremendous knockouts, submissions, and he's only getting better. And Song Yadong is 23, man. It's crazy to watch how young these guys are, and women, and they're still so early in their career, but the impact that they are making on the UFC. So that's my list, Chandler. I mean, guys, could you run it down the bottom real quick? Show my list real quick for Michael Chandler and show him how it's done. See, that's what happens when you bring a rookie out here.
All 17 of them. Number 1, don't
that's what. Hey, Addison. Hey, we got my man Corporate Addison here today. Jake's off, so Corporate Addison, could you please run the list, please? He said, "Hey, Chandler." Addison said, "There's so many names on my list that they're still trying to add them to the graphic."
Yeah, see, Chandler, you got them over there just trying to type them all in, man. Can't even catch up with your list. But it is
the full list. Hey, Chandler, the full list of 25 fighters under 25 is available on ESPN.com on Thursday with the story. So, Mike, hey, love that you gave us the time. Appreciate you giving the effort. But once again, the champ reigns supreme in the. It was almost like.
So you're the judge, jury, and executioner. You decide right now who wins the game. Oh my God!
It was all.
This is great.
Chandler, here's my list.
I can't wait to play PC's games again.
Chandler, here's my list coming up on the screen here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Song Yadong, Casey O'Neill, Ian Gary, Usman Nurmagomedov, Macy Barber, Ignacio Bahamondes. That is how it's done, Michael Chandler. That is a class in how you whip somebody. Look, you whip them in the octagon. I whip them behind the microphone. Chandler, I appreciate. Hey, it's like you and I walking to the center of the mat right now. We're going to shake hands. The official's going. Oh, there's yours. I mean, it looks so empty, right, Mike? Look at it. Why does it seem so empty?
It does, man. It looks like I didn't put the effort in, but you just came in and cheated and threw all your names on there.
Mike, thank you for joining us. Hey, before I let you go real quick, champ, what do you think about Poirier Oliveira? If you had to pick a winner right now, if I held you hostage and I say, Chandler, give me a winner and who you got between Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira in the title fight coming up in a couple weeks?
If you got to go for an actual 100% winner on that fight, and you had to go, for me, I go with my gut. I think it's Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier has been destined for UFC gold for many, many years. Charles Oliveira has looked extremely impressive, and he's great in every single area. But I do think Dustin Poirier just has too many tools. I think they have a very similar set of skills, but I think Poirier is better in each of those different areas. I think Poirier comes out probably with a later round finish, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round finish.
My man, Michael Chandler, thank you for joining us, man. Hey, I know you got some business today. Go and sell your 3rd house and get more money because not enough. It's never enough for Michael Chandler. Thanks for joining the show. Right. I appreciate it.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.